The ethical non-monogamy contract.
Yes.
And if we could go through the points, and mind you, real quick, this is something that when you meet a partner, you give to them on the first date?
Well, when it's getting there, because what I found was I was going on dates with women who had so many preconceived notions about polyamory that I was saying the same thing on a cycle. I'm like, why am I keep like proving this, or like I'm like handing out the facts or something? So when you got questions about it, if you say, well, I think people who are poly are this, and I think that, here goes my ethical non-monogamy framework worksheet. Here is why I am poly. And this is my Virgo moon and Virgo rising. Here's why I am poly. If you can get down with this, we can do this. But you know the baseline of what you're coming into. So there's no assumptions or preconceived notions or any of that.
What is
September Virgo, what day?
No, I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Virgo moon and rising.
Oh my God.
That's right, Aquarius.
Y'all already know.
Because bitch, I need to know.
It's okay. It's okay.
So what is your framework? What does it read on that document?
So it says why. It says Jerry's CNM ENM poly framework. It says, as an intellectual processor, it's helpful for me to write things out, to process, understand, and express my ideas and feelings. The first one, why? Firstly, I like to start by saying that I am polyamorous by orientation, meaning that it is directly correlated with who I am and how I move through the world. It is also connected to my need to decolonize my body, thoughts, and ways of being. For me, ethical non-monogamy or polyamory is directly dismantling the patriarchy. Queerness and white supremacy are direct opposites in how they function in my life. This supports my desire for expansion in this lifetime. Having multiple intimate, romantic, and loving relationships helps me to sharpen my communication skills, learn and address where my blind spots are, and pushes my capacity for compassion, empathy, and love. Love in many forms is the perfect definition. For me, love is abundant in my life and in conjunction and conversation with the universe. My being non-monogamous is a continuing conversation with myself, how I spread love in intimate relationships, and the freedom that comes without the confines of Western ideals of monogamy and heteronormativity. Also, the word intimate is multifaceted because it is not limited to sex. I think sex is just a minuscule part of intimacy. And because people limit intimacy to those that are sexually involved with, it stunts the expansion of how we can connect and express ourselves as humans. I just want to feel free in my expression of love outside of any binary, including the ones we've learned, because all of this is what we learned, about how we should exist in relationships. I also know that how I show up in the world, in all of my identities, with that elevated expression of love is a radical act. It is what I call liberation.
Honey, if that wasn't a theater kid right there.
I ain't gonna hold you. Eden, I'm gonna need the transcript for this episode so I can copy and paste. Gonna need that for me. So have you ever given this worksheet to someone and they've been like, oh yeah, this isn't for me?
No, people want to be with me.
You know why it would be a no for me?
Why?
Because there's a lot of discussion about the act of love needing to be spread. Decolonization to me of the body sometimes is sexual freedom, not necessarily love. And I think I would probably have issues with jealousy knowing that more love needed to be shared.
But unless also me loving somebody.
And I'm ethically non-monogamous, by the way. My partner and I dated the people and together. But the love aspect makes me sometimes, and again, just boundary for me, feel like I'm putting myself at risk.
Right, because there's also, I think polyamory is an umbrella, right?
It is.
And so you are in an open relationship, right? And in open relationships, different partners might need different things, right? And usually sometimes, like the olive conversation, there's a person who is like, well, I can't just have sex all willy-nilly. I need to know somebody. I need to know that I like them.
Yep.
And then there's a person who's like, well, I'm just trying to fuck. And sometimes the two of them might judge the other one for the other thing, right? But it's like, this is what I need. I can't just have sex with a stranger. Or I don't want to talk about my feelings with a person that that's outside of my partner.
Worksheet and under what you like, can you say I love you to someone else while also saying I love you to your fiance?
Yeah, I feel like I loved my fiance and I loved the partner that I was with at the time. Now, I think there is a little more nuance to it, right? Somebody wrote on TikTok. Well, how are you getting married if you're polyamorous, right? It's like my partner is my best friend. She is the person that I want to share resources with. She is the person that I want to carry my child. She's the person that I want to start a family with, right? So everybody coming in will know that my partner is my primary partner.
Primary.
And so, whereas maybe before her, I was open to having nobody be the primary, right? Maybe having a kitchen table thing. But for her, for what I know, right, which is interesting.
That's what it's called, the kitchen table. I just learned about the kitchen
but
table.
But y'all, let me say something real quick.
Uh-oh.
Niggas who be talking about kitchen table, but don't do the work.
This is my Neo combo.
Y'all need to quit it because it.
Look what's in my notes. Kitchen table poly. It just got added in here February 22nd of this year. I went to a freaking party and literally they handed out.
It's a way for men to shirk responsibility.
What do you mean by that?
It's like if I say that this is kitchen table, then I don't actually have to deal with the real problems at hand. My sister is currently dating somebody, sorry, I'm gonna tell your business for a little bit, who was not poly, right?
Okay.
When they first,
but your sister was not poly.
No, my sister is not poly, but now is in a poly situation.
Okay.
And they were not poly to begin with, right? But now, all of a sudden, a year and a half in, he said he poly, and now it's this girl that had been dealing with from before, who maybe they broke up or maybe they didn't. But he tells her that it's kitchen table, and so then when
he must have just learned it like me.
When she's like, well, you said the things between us wouldn't change. Well, it's kitchen table, so we got to share. No. Kitchen table is us coming to the table together, discussing things. They don't ever come to the table together to discuss anything. We don't have a relationship where we can have a relationship, but also you don't have to. When she gives him feedback, it becomes about her not being poly and not about the fact that he didn't do what he promised to do.
That's the problem with men having these ultimatums. So
and if she can't suck a dick, you not poly.
Well, it does say kitchen table poly describes a style of polyamory where all partners in the polycule, which is why he's just misusing the word wrong, are on friendly terms, socialize together regularly, and may even share meals or living spaces, but it emphasizes a strong sense of community and a we're in this together attitude, where the relationships between all partners are prioritized and considered. So he's misusing the word, which I think is what we're seeing.
We chose it together.
I think people are misusing the word polyamory too, because these niggas are polygamists. No shade, but it is what it is. Because if the women can't go and have relationships with other women or other men, then Can
I ask you why, as us knowing E&M being under an umbrella, and that polyamory has all of these different ways in which we set up, why are we shading polygamy when it's one of the ways under the umbrella? Is it because it's the men